Okay, so today's lesson is Chapter 7, Lesson 5. We are solving and writing division equations. We're going to start on page 561. We have a real world link. Let's read it together on 561. It says, Leslie spends $5 a month on snacks at school, which is 1/4 of her monthly allowance. Complete the questions below to find Leslie's monthly allowance. So step 1 asks us to draw a bar diagram to represent $5 as 1/4 of Leslie's monthly allowance. So I'm going to write out those directions. So drawing a bar diagram is a great example of illustrating when you are taking the ACT Aspire to show the test graders that you fully understand the problem. They ask, if possible, that you illustrate. So bar diagrams are going to be a good option for your illustrations. So we draw a bar. And it says the whole bar is her monthly allowance. And it told us that $5 is 1/4 of the allowance. So we're going to take this bar and we're going to divide it into 4 pieces. So we start by dividing it in half, and then each half into 2 pieces as well. So that gives us 4 equal pieces. So 1 piece out of 4 would be here. And that is her $5. Page?
Like you said earlier, that they're all equal bars. So if one bar is $5, then the rest of them must be $5 too.
Correct. So now if we want to figure out question 2, which is what is her monthly allowance? So because the bars are equal amounts, and there's 4 of them, we can just skip count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, and 20. So her monthly allowance is $20. So what operation did we use?
Division.
When I went 5, 10, 15, 20.
Skip counted by 5.
And when you skip count, you are
Multiplying.
So multiplication is our operation. Okay, and then if I want to check my answer, I can use inverse operations to check. I could start with my 20, and then I could divide it by 4 to see if I get 5, and I do, so that I know my answer checks out. Alright, so now let's look at page 562 where we can start practicing some problems. Okay, we'll go down to problem A. We have x divided by 8 equals 9. Okay, so fractions are division problems. That's why I said divided by 8. Anytime you see that fraction bar, It means divided by. So, what's the opposite of division?
Multiplication.
Okay, so if on this side, if we are dividing by 8, to undo it, we're going to multiply. So here's how we do it. This is how I like to do it. I like to put the whole thing in parentheses because that means multiply. And then put an 8. Which is technically 8 over 1, and this is technically 1 over 8. And then they cancel out. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So we'll multiply this side by 8 as well. So these 8's cancel. Bless you. Leaves us with x equals, and then 9 times 8 is 72. Bless you. Alright, now I can check my work because this is an equation, which is good news. Alright, I'm going to write it horizontally though, so you can see what I'm typing into my calculator to check. I'm going to type 72, which is x, and then we divide that by 8, and we should get 9 if our answer checks. When we type that into the calculator, our answer does check. Okay, let's try B. We have y over 4 equals 8. All right, so this means divided by 4. What's opposite of multiplication?
Division.
Oh, I said it the wrong way, didn't I? What's opposite of division? Because we have division. So we need to multiply by 4. So what we do to one side, we will do to the other. So the 4's will cancel. Leaves us with y equals, and then 8 times 4 is 32. For our check, we're going to plug 32 in for y. So what I'm typing into my calculator is 32, which is y, divided by, that's what the bar means, and then 4 should equal 8. And when I type that in, it checks. So it is correct. Okay, try C on your own, please. Okay, on C, opposite of division is
Multiplication.
So we will multiply this side by 5. We'll do the same to the other. Cancel out. M will equal 45 for my check. In my calculator, I'm going to plug 45 in for M. I will type 45 divided by 5. That should equal 9, and it does. What about on D? What will I do to get B all by itself? J?
Multiply it by 2.
And what we do to one side of the equation, we must? Thank you. Alright, so it'll cancel those out. B will be by itself. And then 2 times 30 is 60. Our check. So 30 should be equal to 60 divided by 2. So I type in my calculator 60 divided by 2. I get 30. My answer checks. Alright, any question on those? Alright, so on 563, we're going to get into those word problems where you have to figure out, bless you, how you're going to set up your equation and then solve it. Bless you. Alright, so let's look at E. So it says Nathan picked a total of 60 apples in 1/3 of an hour. Let's write and solve a division equation to find out how many apples Nathan could pick in 1 hour. Alright, well, can you work in your group for a minute and see if you can illustrate this before we come up with our equations? Take about a minute and a half, please. Go ahead. So if we start with our illustration, it tells us he picked 60 apples in 1/3 of an hour. So if this is my full hour, how many different spaces will there be in our bar? Paige? 3, because it gave us 1/3 hour. So let's divide our bar into 3 pieces. Okay, and it gives us the amount for one of those 3 pieces, which is 1/3. Okay, so I feel like now that you see the model, you automatically know the answer. But let's take a look at what the equation would actually look like. If you have 1/3 of your apples picked in an hour and you pick 60, if you take that and multiply 1/3 times A, you'll get your A will be your total amount. So we really don't have to keep that 1 in front of the A. So it really will look like this. I just wanted to show you this so that you would understand where that A automatically ended up above the 3, 4. Okay, so then to undo this division, we multiply by 3. So this side will multiply by 3, cancel. A will equal 180, which is what we thought it would be when you added 60 3 times here. You get 180. So the total amount is 180. Okay, and then if we look at F on page 564, we can practice one more. Allison is baking a pie, and she wants 4.5 strawberries in each serving for 8 people. So we'll write and solve a division equation to find how many strawberries she will need. Alright, so what we'll do is the total number of strawberries over 4.5 per serving, and she needs a total of 8 people. When I actually look at problem F, I automatically think, well, if you want to know the total, just multiply 8 times 4.5. Is that what y'all thought when you looked at it? Okay, that's what we're going to do, though. Because watch, when we have to undo this, look what we end up doing. Multiplying 8 times 4.5. They just wanted you to come up with this equation as well. So she'll need 36 strawberries. Okay? Questions? Okay.